Yasu Malakido. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Alex Trebek. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, I have to tell you that Alex Trebek has lost his battle with cancer and has died at the age of 80. I always like Alex Trebek. He never took himself seriously. Like, he's always just a very funny guy, you know? I mean, people would make fun of him all the time, you know? Obviously, he's most known for Jeopardy, and you saw the thing, they would rip on him on Saturday Night Live with Will Ferrell, you know? And he's just a really good dude. I mean, you know, like even when he found out he had cancer, he still kept working. He even made a joke out of it, saying that, yeah, I'm still under contract for 3 years, so I still gotta work. So, you know, it's unfortunate, and if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about him a little bit. And like I always do, go to the Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, to help me out. George Alexander Trebek, born July 22nd, 1940, and died November 8th, 2020, was a Canadian-American television personality, game show host, and actor. He was the host of the syndicated game show Jeopardy! After his revival in 1984, and also hosted a number of other game shows, including The Wizard of Odds, Double Dare, High Rollers, Battle Stars, Classic Concentration, and To Tell the Truth. Trebek also made appearances in numerous television series, in which he usually played himself. A native of Canada, Trebek became a naturalized United States citizen in 1988. He received the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Game Show Host 7 times for his work on Jeopardy! On November 8th, 2020, Trebek died at the age of 80 after nearly 2-year battle with pancreatic cancer. He had been contracted to host Jeopardy! Until 2022. And in all honesty, guys, I mean, you know, I know it didn't look good for a while, but I really thought he was going to pull through. You know, he didn't seem that affected by it. You know what I mean? Like, he still kept living his life, you know, very, you know, funny, very just being Alex Trebek, just being himself, you know? I mean, it didn't seem to faze him at all, but, you know, fortunately it took him out, and, he will definitely be missed for sure. And it says here, Trebek was also born in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, on July 22nd, 1940, the son of George Edward Trebek, a chef who had immigrated from Ukraine as a child, and Lucille Lagance, born in April 14th, 1921, a Franco-Ontarian. He grew up in a bilingual French-English household. Trebek's first job was when he was 13. He was a bellhop at a hotel where his father worked as a chef. Trebek attended Sudbury High School, now Sudbury Secondary School, and then attended the University of Ottawa. Trebek graduated from the University of Ottawa with a degree of philosophy in 1961. While a university student, he was a member of the English Debating Society. At the time, he was interested in a career in broadcast news. Now, yeah, I always heard that at one point he did work a little bit for CBC, which in Canada stands for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. He was quoted as saying, "I went to school in the mornings and worked at nights. I did everything. At one time, replacing every announcer in every possible job." So, I mean, I'm just seeing a pattern here. The guy loves to, speak his mind. He loves to just, be the host of everything he does. Game show host, broadcaster, just everything, just to be in charge, Also, it's kind of cool, like, at the same time, like, he was a bellhop. I find when you're a bellhop, you definitely get to know everybody on staff. You get to know who's coming in. You get to know different personalities. You get to learn more about your coworkers, like how the business is done, like behind the scenes. So you get a really good idea of how to treat people, how to talk to people. So I'm sure he used these skills, later on in life, obviously. And that's what gave him such a cool personality. I mean, he wasn't over the top or anything. He was just a very chill and cool guy. Told a couple of jokes here and there, and that's it. I always got the feeling that he was very grateful for the career he had. And again, if you don't mind, I'd like to state a couple facts about Mr. Alex Trebek. I might as well just say this. I keep getting these facts from this website called Fascinate.com, so I might as well give these guys a shout out too. So thank you for helping me out. Don't worry, guys. I'm not making any money off this, so it's all good. It says here that in 2014, Trebek broke Bob Barker's record, hosting more episodes of the same game show program than anyone else in history. Now, obviously, if you don't know who Bob Barker is, shame on you. But he was the host of The Price is Right. Yes, there was a host before Drew Carey, okay? I knew Drew Carey because I watched the Drew Carey show, and he's a very funny guy. But before that, there was Bob Barker, okay? Again, if you don't know who Bob Barker is, go watch Happy Gilmore, and you'll find out how he can still beat the shit out of Adam Sandler at his age. Trebek took the top spot after hosting 6,829 episodes of Jeopardy! And given that he has been hosting the show since then, as of 2019, that's going to be a hard record for anyone to beat. Absolutely. I'll also talk about this for a little bit. Obviously, if you don't know the show Jeopardy! It's about 3 contestants compete, and they just answer questions about certain subjects, Starts off, 200, then it gets double, then it's triple. You get a video daily double block, which means they'll show you a video, and then, you got to say what is, who is. You got to remember to always say that, by the way. This is where I would fuck up in Jeopardy. Not because I'm stupid, clearly, but because, I would probably forget to say, what is, she is, he is, they are, what is, blah, 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 whatever. So, you must say your answer in a form of a question. So, and they've had a lot of, cool people over the years, We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, it was a very good show. It really, some questions are easier for people if you knew the subject. Some of them, you had no idea, It depends. Like, you could go on there and know book smarts, but do you know the streets? Do you know simple things like what rhymes with red? Something, I'm sure the questions weren't that simple, but at the same time, it's just about world knowledge and how much can you remember. And, obviously at the end you got that main question, and, they play the classic song there. How does it go again? Da na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Jeopardy, please don't sue me. But for a while it was like, the same song, and then they kind of classed it up a bit, give it a nice little, royal treatment, I guess, whatever. But it still sticks in your head. They've used it for numerous TV shows, movies, everybody knows that theme. But I digress. Truly, he was very Canadian. We all know this. Trebek spent his youth raised in a completely bilingual household. His father was a Ukrainian immigrant, like I said before, who worked as a chef in Ontario, while his mother was a French-Canadian Ontarian. So, of course, you learn to speak both. I'll just say this. In Canada, for the most part, most of us speak English, unless you're from Quebec. They want to be their own country. That's a story for another time. I'll just say this: if they want to be their own country, let them. I don't care. And now you enter a contest. It says blah 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 blah, except for Quebec and that whatever. The point is, I can barely speak English. He could speak 2 languages, so that's pretty cool. Although he was born in Canada, Trebek moved to the U.S. in 1973 and has lived there ever since. He even got his American citizenship in 1988. A lot of people do that. He did it. Trebek studied at the University of Ottawa, where he graduated in 1961 with a degree in philosophy. In 2015, the university honored Trebek by then celebrated television host and benefactor to his alma mater by naming its alumni hall after him. So that's a huge honor. Again, I don't know how many people have graduated from Ottawa University. I think him and Norm Macdonald are the only people I know. Other than that, it's pretty cool to be honored by somewhere you went to school from. Trebek was first hired to host Jeopardy after he temporarily called to step in for Wheel of Fortune host Chuck Woolery. Now, if you don't know who Chuck Woolery is, he's a cool dude. He did the whole Love Connection 2 and 2 right back at you. I remember that. He had like the big ass ring on that other TV show. I forgot what it was called. Sorry, man. But yeah. So he had to replace him for a little bit while he was sick. Merv Griffin and Bob Murphy, the men behind Jeopardy, were convinced of Trebek's worth when they saw his stint on Woolery's show. So they virtually hired him on the spot. He started on Jeopardy in 1984 and has hosted ever since. With or without the mustache. What do you guys think? Do you look better with the mustache or without? I mean, I saw a clip of him in the 80s. Like, he looked like Gene Shalit for a while. But whatever. I'm envious of anybody that has hair. The first job that Trebek had as a television host came in 1963 when he appeared on the Canadian music program known as Music Hop. In a format taken from American Bandstand, Trebek would welcome musicians onto the show before they would perform songs for dancing teenagers. Trebek would only host the first season of the show before he was replaced by disc jockey named Dave Mickey. So this show is basically, the not cool white Canadian version of American Bandstand or Soul Train. You gotta start somewhere. Trebek also hosted a short-lived Canadian game show called Strategy, which aired in 1969. Couples would make their way through a maze, hoping to reach the center, while answering questions along the way. They could also foil the other couples by setting booby traps or blocking their routes. That sounds like a pretty cool show. And it says here it only lasted 1 season. That sounds pretty cool. Why did it last 1 season? I don't know. Did the couples get lost and die? What happened? Okay. Trebek's first hosting job for an American show came in 1973 when he moved south. The show was titled The Wizard of Oz. Obviously a play on The Wizard of Oz. I get it. And it was produced by fellow Canadian Alan Thicke. No shit. I did not know that. You don't know who Alan Thicke is. He was the father on Growing Pains. His son, obviously, Robin Thicke, is a singer. We all know that. Blurred Lines. The lyrics to that song. Just read the lyrics. Trust me, it's kind of fucked up, but it's cool at the same time. Anyways, it involved asking contestants questions about statistics. The show ran for a year on NBC until it was dropped after 1 season. I don't know, I'm seeing a pattern here. I don't know, it sounds like these cool shows, and then 1 season, that's it. I don't know. Maybe they should have had Rajowski there dance naked. I don't know. That probably would have helped. With Trebek and Thick at the helm, the only question is, how did it possibly fail? Well, I just asked that, and I still don't know. I don't know. It seems like cool concepts for shows. I mean, I don't know what the fuck. Trebek's bilingualism paid off in 1978 when he hosted a bilingual edition of the Canadian high school quiz show Reach for the Top. Just to keep it completely fair, Trebek also hosted the French-Canadian equivalent Jeunesse Inhibée. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. My French sucks. As soon as after grade 9, I stopped taking it. I just remember je suis tu es il elle nous sommes vous elles ont whatever. I still don't know what the fuck it means. But anyways, this show was sort of a predecessor for Jeopardy, where students were required to buzz in and answer obscure trivia questions. Yeah. It pretty much sounds like that. What's kind of funny is it just me? Just hear me out on this. Look at the picture of Trebek when he's doing that. The black and white, clean shaven. He's got the little neat hair there. I don't know. Does he not look like a little like a young Bruce Lee there? Is it just me? I don't know. I'm just. As a youth, Trebek actually considered becoming a priest. However, after he spent a summer staying in a Trappist, yeah, I was going to say therapist, Trappist, yeah, okay, monastery, he changed his mind about that kind of career. Well, thank God, okay? Again, not that it's not cool to be a priest. Get ready for the jokes. But, yeah, I think things ended up okay. For years, Trebek owned a ranch in Creston, California, spanning 700 acres. Trebek used the ranch to raise thoroughbred race horses. He kept this ranch until he sold it in 2008. This is my ranch. As you can imagine, Trebek has made a whole second career out of playing himself, sometimes sarcastically, on a variety of shows for children and adults. Among his credits are Arthur, Magic School Bus, Cheers, The Golden Girls, The Simpsons, Beverly Hills 90210, and Orange is the New Black. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember him on Orange is the New Black. But I do remember him on The Simpsons. That was a funny episode. They were trying to make money. Marge went on there, did horribly. She ended up getting whatever, -$. And then it was funny, she met Trebek and backstage after the show. And, you know, he's like, Marge, you know the deal. You have to pay us what you owe. You know, like... I always wondered that too. I mean, I'm sure you don't have to. I mean, do you have to pay him back after? No? Okay. That's stupid. Trebek has been married twice in his life. As of 2019, he was married to Elaine Callie from 1974 until 1981. While he has been married to Jean Curivan, yeah, sounds better, since 1990. Curivan and Trebek have 2 children together. Cool. Hey, man. When you're Trebek, you can... Yeah. You know. During the lead-up to the 1996 Olympics, Trebek was involved in the running of the Olympic torch to Atlanta. He carried the torch when it reached Jacksonville, Florida. Now, that is a huge honor. That's pretty cool. I've always wanted to do that. My biggest fear is that I'll drop it or something, you know, it'll start raining, something will go wrong. Seemed like everything went fine there. In 1999, Jeopardy welcomed its first blind contestant, Eddie Timanis. Adjustments were made to put Timanis on an even playing field with his fellow contestants. Timanis won 5 games in a row, becoming a champion of the show. For his own efforts in accommodating Timanus, Trebek was praised by the American Foundation for the Blind in 2001. That's cool. I do remember that, actually. Yeah, that was a big moment for the show, for sure. Trebek has been known for his philanthropy, particularly where the environment is concerned. In 1998, Trebek donated 74 acres of open land to the Santa Monica Mountains Conservatory. In case you're curious, the land was located in the Hollywood Hills and was valued at more than $2 million at the time. Yep, that's expensive property. In 2018, debating for the Pennsylvania governorship, Trebek acted as a monitor. However, things took a turn when Trebek eschewed the traditional format of the governmental debate and instead tried to organize it into a conversational, casual sort of meeting, during which Trebek ended up speaking nearly half the time after being heavily criticized for his hijacking of the debate. Trebek offered an apology to the people of Pennsylvania, a state I dearly love. Look, he was just trying to keep it interesting, like most hosts are. You gotta understand, like when you're a host of a show, it doesn't matter if you're a game show, debate, whatever, you're the referee. You're the one that has to keep everything in check, the people going. You're the one that has to make them interesting. Worst case scenario, you're basically an interviewer in many ways. But at the same time, you're conducting what's going on in the show. So if the guy wants to do it his way, let him do it his way. He knows what he's doing, okay? He did it without the mustache that day. Just keep that in mind. Trebek is one of only 4 people to host shows in both Canada and the United States. The other 3 people who hold this honor are Jeff Edwards, Jim Perry, and Howie Mandel. That's true. Shout out to Howie Mandel. He did the whole back and forth thing too, I remember Bobby's World. But yeah, I mean, that's a big accomplishment for him, so that's awesome. During Trebek's post-secondary education, he found work with the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, better known as the CBC. I mentioned this before, but it says here, according to the man himself, Trebek would work evening shifts, filling in for regular announcers until he got his own position reading national news. Trebek would cover many different topics as a CBC news reader, particularly sports related. God bless him. That's it. I don't have to say anything else. Fans of the Colbert Report will remember that Trebek played a role during that show's finale. While Colbert left the studio in a sleigh, he greeted Trebek on the way out. I don't remember that. I still don't buy that the whole Colbert Report, he's a different person. Now he's on the Late Show. It's a different personality. I don't like him going out there when he's dancing. I still have Stephen Colbert, don't get me wrong. I'm just not buying it's 2 different people. But the point is, Trebek gave him a nice little salute there, and that's it. Awesome. On March 6, 2019, Trebek announced that he was suffering from stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Trebek has made it clear that he intends to fight this cancer as the best that he can, while continuing to host Jeopardy for as long as he's able to. Like I said before, he didn't give up. He kept going. He really didn't miss a beat. I mean, like if he said I'll be honest with you, if he said he didn't have cancer, I don't think anybody would have known, Look at Boswick. I mean, like for 4 years he suffered with it. I mean, did anybody really notice? I mean, there's a couple of pictures online that, said, the police are always interrupting me, The feds are always watching. The point is, nobody really noticed, except for a couple of pictures that came out that he was skinny, whatever. I mean, what Hollywood actor isn't skinny, But at the same time, I'm just saying, like, not a lot of people would really notice, He went a different route. Like, he didn't want anybody to know. Trebek made it public, He wanted people to know that. He wanted people to know that he could still, do his job. And that's awesome. I mean, look, some people want to keep it private. Some people, they don't give a shit. It is what it is. I mean, it's just the way he was. He was a very honest person. Like in the debates, he wanted it his way, and yeah, you see again, you're seeing a pattern with this guy. This guy's got some, good, a good pair of Canadian Timbits there. I mean, the guy, he didn't fuck around. There you go. That's it. One rare example of controversy in Trebek's career came on May 19th, 2016. At the time, Jeopardy was doing a long week special series titled Power Play. The contestants were made up of politicians, journalists, and the like, which I don't know what that is. One particular episode featuring CNN anchor Anderson Cooper, Republican politician Michael Steele, and war correspondent Laura Logan. The episode was declared by some to be the worst episode in the history of the show, partly because of the incredible lack of knowledge displayed by these people, but also because of an incident during Trebek's small talk with the contestants. When it came time to speak with Laura Logan, he bluntly brought up the incident in 2011 when she was violently sexually harassed while reporting in Egypt. Trebek was criticized on social media following the episode's airing, accusing him of tactlessness. Well, yeah, you got to be careful with that. Let's just be honest, guys and girls. You know what? I'm not going to touch that subject, okay? Again, some people go past the line a little bit. Some people don't want to talk about certain shit. Some people do. Some people get that stuff out. Some people don't. It is what it is. He made a mistake, like a lot of people do, and I'm assuming eventually he was forgiven. During the early hours of July 27, 2011, a female burglar broke into Trebek's San Francisco hotel room. Trebek gave chase when the burglar fled, but ended up breaking his leg in the process. In case you're curious, they did catch the burglar soon after the incident. There you go. I'm telling you, there's a chance this guy could have been a superhero at night. I'm not sure. Again, I can't say that for sure. All I'm saying is that Trebek was a tough motherfucker. Okay, funny dude, always spoke his mind, and wasn't afraid to let people know who he really is. Now, it's Sunday afternoon. It's a beautiful day in Toronto. For some reason, it's 20-some degrees in this city. I have no idea. I mean, I guess Al Gore was right. But yeah, let's. I'm curious. They said he was an actor. Let's see some of the acting credits he's done. I'm low on weed. I might as well just let's keep reading here. By the way, speaking of weed, one time he was on Howard Stern, and he seemed like a really cool dude. Answered all the questions, as best as he could. And he said one time he went to a party, and I think he ate like 3 brownies or something, and of course the brownies were hash brownies. Now, for those of you who don't know what hash is part of the weed plant, blah, 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 blah. It gets you high. We all know what hash is. The point is, he got so ripped, he had to stay at the person's house for like 2-3 days. I mean, listen, if you're a Canadian broadcaster, if you haven't got high on brownies, then I don't know, you're not Canadian. So it is what it is. I just wanted to throw that story in there. I thought that was funny. So that's awesome. The very first thing he did as an actor was a show called Vegas, spelled with a $sign. It was a TV series that aired in 1978. He played a guy called Arthur Martin. The episode was named The Games Girls Play. I saw a poster for it. It kind of looks like a 70s version of the Vegas show that aired a couple years ago with James Caan. That was pretty good. I saw a couple episodes. I thought it was all right. The next thing he did was Cheers, because it is 1990, and he is a celebrity host of a game show. So That was the rule back then. You had to be in some kind of sitcom. He played himself. WWE PPV on WWE Network in 1991. He played himself. Then he was in something called Dying Young. He was the host of Jeopardy. It sounds about right. He was in Rugrats. I remember that TV show. Very popular TV show. He played Alan Quebec. All right, would have fit the stereotype. He was in the Larry Sanders Show. Again, that was a rule. So many cameos in that TV show. Great show. Love it. He played himself. Dave's World. He played himself. Beverly Hills 90210. Played himself. The Nanny. Played himself. The X-Files. He played Man in Black #2. Why didn't he play #1? I don't know. Spy Hard. Agency Tape Recorder. All right. I'm sure that was just a simple voiceover, Like I said about voiceover guys, easy money. The Magic School Bus. He was the announcer. Again, easy money. Seinfeld. The Abstinent. Oh, yeah, he was in that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Right on. Random Hearts, Jeopardy host. Uncredited, but we all know he was there. Ladies Man TV series. He was in 3 episodes. Played himself. Arthur. Played himself. FCU. Fact Checkers Unit. I guess technically he played himself because his name was Alex, so I'll count that. How I Met Your Mother, played himself. Simpsons, played himself. Hot in Cleveland, he was the narrator. Ned and Stacy, he played himself. Orange is the New Black, he played himself. And the most recent thing he did on TV was Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. He was a TV host and he showed up in the pilot. But he was uncredited. But I'm sure he still got a paycheck. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm sure Jeopardy paid him a nice amount of money, but he had all these little side jobs that he could do, and why not? Why not? But let's just be honest. One of the funniest things that he did, and I guess technically he wasn't even a part of. I mean, he did show up in one sketch for this show that a lot of people call Saturday Night Live, and it was called Celebrity Jeopardy. And this one was basically the idea of Will Ferrell and Daryl Hammond. And the very first episode, you see Will Ferrell dressed up, more like an 80s kind of Alex Trebek. He had the little fluffy hair there. He had the mustache, and he continued that look throughout all the sketches in the future. And Daryl Hammond, of course, he showed up as Sean Connery. Now, how fucked up is it that a week ago I did a thing on Sean Connery because he died, and now you got Alex Trebek. I don't know. 2020's got to end, guys. I mean, this is enough bullshit we've put up with here. But anyways, at least Biden won. Okay, there you go. Kamala, you two guys, I hope you kick ass. But anyways, we'll talk about them another time, for sure. Oh, for sure. But yes, this sketch is one of my favorite sketches of all time. You got Sean Connery, played by Daryl Hammond, like I said. He's got the whole classic look with the hair, black, white, and the whole kind of beard, whatever. For some reason, Sean Connery really hates Alex Trebek. He throws a couple racial slurs out there. He's obsessed with his mother. She is a walker, a street walker. And he really wanted to fuck her. And, Will Ferrell is just, calmly playing it down, whatever. And, they have funny categories. Always, the first one was always potent potables. All the time. It was always that one. And then they'd have ones like in the first episode, they had S words. So, of course, Sean Connery sees it. Fucker can't read. And he goes, I'll take swords. So, of course, he corrects him. It's not swords, it's S words. There's another funny one I really liked. The pen is mightier. And he reads it as the penis might. Sorry. Oh, 3, 2, 1. He repeats it as the penis mightier, and of course, Will Ferrell's like, what? And it was just funny. I mean, they did shit like that all the time, and it was funny, like just the back and forth, like Sean Connery would be like, "Oh, will it really mighty my penis, man?" It's not, it's not the penis mightier. It's the pen is mighty. Or gussy it up however you want, Alex. The key is, does it work? Because I've tried other devices in the past, and they failed. I'm not ashamed to say. And if the penis mightier really works, I'll order a dozen. And it's funny, they had all these other people too, like all these other celebrities being thing, and like Jimmy Fallon was on the show at the time, and he was being Nicolas Cage, and he goes, wait, are you selling penis mightiers? Yeah, and it's just fun. Like, I don't want to give all of them away, but Alex Trebek did show up in one of them. And he's just like, look, I'm not like this. I got nothing against Connery, blah 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 blah. And it was just funny, And it was always funny too the way they ended it, because like Sean Connery would kind of be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm making fun of you, and blah 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 blah. And then like he'd be putting like a swear word at the end, or I remember one of them. He just I think they just told him like write anything, and then he just puts a bunch of S's. And it's like, oh, okay, that's technically right. So then they, how they show the top half, which is the answer, and then the top half the answer, and then the bottom half how much you wagered, and then he puts S's. Okay, so how much you wager, and then it shows the other half of the picture. It's just like, I don't even describe it. It's like a stick figure, and it shows like a grave of like Alex Trebek, and like Sean Connery's just like taking a shit on it. It's just like, and like just, he was always annoyed at the end, fuck. Oh man, it was so fucking funny. Like every single one of them are all funny. I remember there's one of them, like they did. I think Daryl Hammond did Travolta instead of Connery, but then they're like, yeah, you gotta have, the key to the thing is Connery, like for sure. So yeah, like that always made me laugh. And again, like I said, he showed the real Alex Trebek showed up on the sketch, and like he didn't take it seriously. I mean, he was just having a good time with it. It was all in good fun, and that's it. It sucks we lost him. It's like I said before. I really thought he was gonna pull through, and because I mean, he just didn't seem fazed by it at all. Like a lot of people, like I've said this before. Like you go into this business, and a lot of people, maybe they lose their way, and all they care about is the money and fame, and and of course, I'm sure Alex got paid very well for Jeopardy. I mean, it's been airing, for almost like 40 years, so 35 years, whatever. I mean, I'm sure he was well taken care of, but at the same time, he enjoyed doing it, enjoyed doing all these other little side projects. He didn't care when people made fun of him. He just enjoyed being part of this, being part of this like world. And we lost another good one. And I'm Canadian myself. I'm from Toronto and Ontario, Canada. And Sudbury's not that far from Toronto. And I always thought it was cool just seeing Alex Trebek do his thing. And he always seemed like a really nice guy. You never heard anything bad about him. Oh shit, it's funny? I just remembered this one story. Okay, so that's so funny. Wow. Okay, so anyways, I worked at a security company one time, and the teacher was telling a story how like he did this one job, and he said, listen, everyone's got to sign in, everybody's got to make sure they're accounted for when they go into a building, whatever. It doesn't matter who they are, and he says, well, one day I was at the desk, and Eugene Levy and Alex Trebek showed up, and they're like, oh, can we just go in? He's like, oh no, sorry, you got to sign in. And they were kind of shocked. It's like, dude, what the fuck? I mean, Like, even as he's telling the story, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Just let him in. Who cares? And so, oh, sorry, everyone's got to sign in, whatever. And, like, he didn't let him sign in, or we let him sign in, but then, they had to wait until confirmation, I'm like, fucking Jeopardy SCTV. What more fucking confirmation do you need, By the way, shout out to everybody in the cast of Schitt's Creek for winning all the awards recently. That is, that's huge, man. That is fucking awesome. But anyways, yeah, I mean, he didn't let him in, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck, And then like at the end of the course, whatever, they go to everyone and well, what'd you learn, blah blah blah. I don't know, some bullshit, and then they came to me, and I said, yeah, I learned some stuff, and I told him straight up. I said, in front of everybody, I'm like, listen, I'm just gonna say this: if Alex Trebek and Eugene Levy show up to my desk, I'm letting him in. I don't give a shit if I get fired. They're coming in, okay? That's it. End of story. Everybody had a good laugh there. It's all good. So, yeah. But Alex Trebek, man, I mean, he seemed like a really cool guy. He seemed like a guy that was very appreciative of everything that's come to him in his life, and he knew there was a chance that he may not survive this, and but he just kept going, And that's awesome. I mean, it really is. So, we lost a good one today, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to say, rest in peace, Alex. I'm sure if Heaven's Got a Game Show, you're the one hosting it, all right? And, God only knows who's going to fill in those shoes, okay? So good luck with that one. But, this is Jeopardy. And it always will be. So rest in peace to an awesome guy, Alex Trebek.